Hello, so welcome back to the second part in this series on the 2026 personal statements. We're going to dive straight in now to the individual questions, what they do want to see, what they don't want to see for this first time round this particular course. So as you can see, the questions there are down the side. We're going for question 1 in this video, which is why do you want to study this course or subject? Now, do you want to take a guess at what the most important word in that sentence is? Okay? Out of why do you want to study this course or subject, right? Most 18-year-olds, 17, 18-year-olds will read the words course or subject and they'll think that's the most important word. It is not. The most important word in that sentence is you. Why do you want to study this course or subject? You. You need to talk about you, okay? There is a big difference here between why subject is good and why I am good at subject. So here's your sort of do's and don'ts for question 1. They go as follows. Do demonstrate why you are good for the subject, okay? I would say something like, having done this work experience doing this, or having read this book, I am really interested in this particular bit of this particular subject because it is good. Not, this subject is the study of this, is the study of that. There's a phenomenon I call Brian Coxing it, which is particularly prevalent among physicists and other scientists, where they go, ain't space amazing? Space is like all the really big stuff up in the sky, and we can understand everything in the universe because of physics, and it's amazing. Don't tell physicists about physics, okay? They know, they want to know about you. It's a personal statement, okay? So in this section, you should be talking about you, what you've done, why you want to study this particular course, okay? Not why the course is good. They already know, okay? So do say how specific, really specific books, experiences, YouTube have inspired you. I have read some books. I like physics. I like English is not enough, okay? Obviously you like the subject, you're applying to do a degree in it. Obviously you are very enthusiastic about the subject because otherwise you wouldn't be applying to do the degree in it, okay? Why are you enthusiastic about it? Why do you want to study it? So if you read something really interesting, why did that inspire you? What was important about it? What did it lead you to do, right? You, not subject, 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 subject. Don't just list books, okay? I have read this and then I read this. Then I went and did this and I have done that. I watched this, it was nice. No, right? That's not going to get you anywhere, right? What we need to hear is we need to hear what the sort of connections between the two. You are trying to demonstrate your passion for the subject without saying it. See previous video. We must not say I am passionate about, because anyone can say that, right? You have to actually demonstrate what it is that you've done and how it makes you a good fit for this particular subject, okay? Do explain and show where your passion for a subject comes from, right? As I said before, don't just say it, okay? So there are my do's and don'ts for question 1. Here are my other top tips for question 1, and then we'll move on to question 2 in the next video. So careers, it's probably a good idea to mention some careers. Now this obviously is more applicable to some subjects than others. If you're doing a medical degree, it's because you want to be a doctor. That's pretty obvious, but if you're doing a ancient classics, ancient history degree, it's a bit more, well, why are you doing that? And the love of learning is a great reason, but put some sort of thought into where you might end up afterwards. Nobody's going to hold you to it. No one's going to bring this back to you when you're 21 and say, you didn't go into the subject that you said you were going to. It just shows the reader that you've thought about life beyond degree, that you've thought about degree as a means to an end, not degree as a means to move out of mum and dad's house, right? Which is what they want to see, okay? Specific areas of interest are great. So if you're looking at psychology, right, well, maybe you're talking about child developmental psychology because you studied it at A level. That could go in box 2. Or maybe if you're talking about English, you're particularly interested in poetry and translation, or you're particularly interested in why the entire curriculum seems to be dead white men, right? For example, that shows a real area of interest and research, okay? Now, personal information, it can be really powerful. Stories are powerful, right? I read a lot of medical personal statements, and I get an awful lot of when my mum was diagnosed with cancer, when my dad died of heart disease, when my relatives in another country had a communicable disease that could be curable in this country. I wanted to. Now that can be very powerful, but it's risky. Okay, don't give too much personal information away in there. Don't talk about very private things in there, I would say, and be honest, right? Be honest and factual, keep it factual. Don't say something along the lines of this happened to me and it ruined my life and I've never recovered from it. And all. Then it sounds like you're writing to a therapist, not an admissions tutor. So I'd say personal information is powerful, but do try and keep it factual and keep it measured. Okay? It can be risky because it can backfire effectively. Now, a balanced view is really important. I'll say this particularly to the PPE people, right, and to the politics people. Your biases won't help you because the people are looking to be able to teach you, right? So if you go, I want to do PPE because I know I can be the next Prime Minister because Liz Truss was right and I love Maggie Thatcher and all this kind of stuff, and I'm going to immediately go from this degree and join a political party and I know what's right. Well, they're going to go, well, hang on, kid, you're 17, 18, you are not the fully formed deal at the moment. If you don't think you're teachable, if you think you know it all already, why are you coming to our university? So be balanced and try and remove your own biases in that. You can obviously allude to particular things that have inspired you, but biases are not what you want to be including in there, particularly those PPE students who think, I'll go from school to PPE Oxford, straight into the civil service, or become an MP and be Prime Minister, right? That is not why a PPE professor will want to have you as a teacher, have you as a student to teach. Right, so moving on, last one then, supercurricular, above but within your subject. I hope you all know the difference between super and extracurricular. Supercurricular things are things that are within your subject but beyond the specification. Extracurricular is outside. Now, I would have thought supercurricular things, if you've got quite a lot of them, would go in box 3. However, if you read the UCAS website, they also mention supercurriculars here in this particular box. So you can put supercurriculars in this box as well as box 3. Okay? And if you can do all that, you will have answered the first question. We'll come back for the next one. Thanks very much.